We just had a very extremely intense band of rain gone through. I was a little bit worried it was going to be thundery, but it hasn't been. So I didn't set off until it was clear that it wasn't going to be lightning and all sorts. There's still a bit more to come out to the west, but I think we're more or less through it here. I can imagine, I wanted to go to Malton, because it's a special store cattle day. So I wasn't too bothered either way, but since it's a wet day I thought it was not a bad idea to go. I sort of need a couple of bags of feed. Normally I would have ordered a small wagon load, a pallet load, first week of October, but we're only using a very small amount at the moment. So I'll just get a couple more bags of each and probably order some next week, I don't know. It's Friday today. If I order it Monday or Tuesday, it'll come Wednesday-ish. So I was kind of thinking of nipping down for that anyway. So I'll get that today and have a look at the market, which is not much further on really once you get over the hill. Because it's rather subtle if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, if you just go there and people sort of remind you that I'll be taking some next month. But it's not, mine are still with the cows, they haven't been weaned yet. Most people have weaned them about the end of September, but well, I would have done, except that we were short of water, which is rather bizarre on a day like this, isn't it? But we still only just have enough. The ground is still so deeply dry. There's a particularly nasty burst of rain just over there, heading this way. Right, but I think it's missing us at home. I noticed that the yard drain has, I wouldn't say it's blocked up, it's just overwhelmed. It did it once before, about a month ago, and I was sort of worried it was actually blocked up. I don't think it is, it's just, it can only take so much. I have invested a bit in this camera since I like the image from it, but I've been struggling a bit with the audio because it needs different adapters and things, so I've bought a different wire microphone which plugs straight in it, so it's much simpler, and it seems to be quite good quality. There's some of these, they're a bit strange, they have a kind of noise cancelling where they see the noise from the pickup, this extraneous noise, and they keep going sort of semi-mute in doing that. Then when you talk it comes on. It's absolutely appalling, the quality of it. And this one, it's somewhat directional, about sort of, it points, if you have it pointed towards yourself, you lose about 50% behind. So that should make it a bit better at catching voice. We don't know, this is why this is the experimental run really. I don't think they've had that really heavy rain down here. But anyway, there's some sort of workarounds to it where you effectively you pre-render the audio, and there's more than one way to do that. It's called render and replace, which seems to fix it, unsurprisingly, and it didn't take very long. But you shouldn't have to do that. I've never had to do that before. I've never had this problem before. It was as if the computer or the program couldn't cope with 4K from this camera, which makes no sense because it's not particularly intensive bitrate wise. Road being closed or anything, but I think we'll go the main Pickering Road. Oops, I could have shot out there, a bit cheeky. I wish I had, because there's a great queue now. We're behind these all the way through Pickering. Got a trailer on this next one. Oh, there's one there coming away from Malton. See, that would be me on another day. He'll be with some sheep though. In fact, I ain't sure. I don't know that that white pickup from Bransdale somewhere. I don't quite know what that van's doing. So I don't know what price is fuel around here. 162 and 182 there. 62 is quite good for petrol. 82 isn't good for diesel though. I've seen it at 179. Again here, look, the road's barely wet. My rear view mirror doesn't really work very well anymore because somebody put my spare tyre in no view of it. It doesn't really matter because when you have the trailer on you can't see out anyway. And the side mirrors are really good, especially when they're adjusted better. To be honest, I had slightly changed the position of them when I realised that it was the rear view was completely useless or nearly useless. One of the more surprising things is that when it's wet, you get more traffic because people who would otherwise have walked to the shops tend to drive. I don't know where they're. Could be pigged to the bacon factory. When you have the trailer on you have to take up both lanes down this roundabout really pretty well. Now we're back into heavy rain again. I don't quite know where this is coming from. Have we caught up with the band of rain? It wasn't a straightforward band of rain. It was moving sort of from the southwest to the northeast. but the whole band of it was moving gradually towards the southeast, so a bit complicated, so like heavier bursts running along the line. I think the ticketing man has just come into the car park. He looks like a zombie. He was walking like a zombie. No, he's not looking at this side. Oh no, it's not a ticketing man. It's Royal Mail. Maybe he just wanted to pee. They seem to have quite cheap diesel here, so I may as well fill up here, to be honest. Some relatively cheap diesel. I don't say I liked the place. Everything was a bit scabby. I've never filled up there before, but I've been there once before to blow a tyre up. I wonder if that pub's open again. Looks tidy. They've got some menu boards up. menu things in the window. Oh. And some quite nice houses in this village. But at the bottom I always think it must be a bit prone to flooding. Quite from about here. You're almost below the river level when it's up behind the banks. Same as all these houses along here. There's really anything in this Rydale area, unless it's up on a hill. Like all this, where these caravans and this house and that here. If it once broke through that bank there, well, it's because it's sometimes we're literally above this road and only just held back. If it found a way through, God knows what would happen. I mean, it would flood a very large area, but I mean, it would take a long time, wouldn't it, to do that, really? So it might not be quite as bad as you would imagine. Maybe. Norman B. I should have known that really. I did know it, but I wasn't 100% sure. Corrugated. It must be horrible on a bike. That pub's closed. Looks closed, doesn't it, as well? The house on the left was my nan's. It came up to sell again quite recently. I was half tempted to look round it, but then I realised that where there was a paddock behind, that's not really with it anymore. There's like a relatively large garden at the back, well, not the paddock. And the little loose boxes or stables across the road, they've been converted to a house. Across the track in, that were part of it as well. Nice, quite nice bright sun now. I mean, this bike is doing about 40 mile an hour. I catch up with him. It gives me the impression he's going to turn right.